What's up, peeps? I'm back. On this particular blog, I wanted to talk about, I guess I want to talk about something more serious about my near-death experience. I don't like sharing this with each other, but I guess I share my life, my near-death experience. I know what happened to me and my son. My son almost died as well. For all of y'all who don't know, I have a disabled child named Justin. He has cerebral palsy, and I love him so much. It's my pride and joy. Both of us almost died back in 2007 when he was born. What happened was I was left in labor for too long, and while I was trying to give birth, they left me in labor for like over 30 hours, and Justin's heart rate was constantly fluctuating, and he had destated quite a few times, and for some reason nobody would come and help me or check on me while I was in a hospital that I was in. And by the time a doctor came and they told me to push, I started rupturing. I knew something was wrong prior to that. I felt like I was being ripped apart. I know I had kids before. I had given birth before, and I never felt this type of pain before. But when I kept on complaining about the pain, but nobody would help me. I had the worst nurse in the whole wide world. She was terrible. She refused to help me as well. Worst hospital. But anyway, after this happened years ago and it's still touchy. But after when I tried to push, my uterus had ruptured and I started hemorrhaging. And then what happened was Justin, the doctor couldn't get Justin out, and for some reason he got sucked back in, and they had to rush me to the operation room to hurry up and do emergency surgery on me. So and what they did was they just they cut me open, of course, and I was still awake because they gave me an epidural. I guess they gave me too much medicine. I think it was oxytocin, and but they gave me that medicine to try to get me to dilate faster, but it didn't work. But instead it caused me to rupture because the contractions was too strong. But when they got Justin finally out, and I was still awake, and I was shivering. It was so cold. I didn't hear my baby cry at all. And I asked them, can I see my baby? And they wouldn't let me see my baby. They rushed off with him. And that's what happened. So they told me later on that he had an Apgar score of 1. He was near death. And of course, due to the lack of oxygen, he kept on having continuous seizures to the brain. And now he has CP. He was supposed to have been a healthy boy. He was 8 pounds 4 ounces, and we was in when he was in intensive care for PICU to be exact, pediatric intensive care. He was the largest babies in there. All the other babies were preemies, and he was the biggest baby in there. He shouldn't have been in there in the first place. We had decent doctors that did their jobs, and nurses wasn't such asses. I'm sorry, excuse my French. Was such a B, because she knew I was in pain. She refused to help me. I don't know what her problem was. People, if I don't know the worst nurse ever. I feel like if you don't want to be a nurse, you don't want to help people, don't even bother going into the field in the first place if you're not going to do the right things and help patients when they're in need. And this lady was terrible. She left me in there, refused to give me a doctor. And so, but anyway, I don't want to go on and on and on, but um, that's what happened. I had a ruptured uterus, but they were able to repair my uterus, and I can still have children, thank God. So if I ever want to have another child, I can still have another child. But my son, it's been a battle since. I had to quit my job and take care of him, of course, and we've been through a lot together, me and my whole kids and family. But it's been a battle since, trying to keep things going. And in me, of course, the father's out of picture. He didn't, I guess he just bailed out on us because 10 times got pretty hard with the finances and medical bills and the costs and everything. I had a really nice career with the government, but ended up having to quit my job and couldn't get my son on. We didn't qualify for Social Security and all those other benefits for the longest because we made too much money. But that's a whole nother ball game. I just wanted to share my story about my experience, my near-death experience. Almost dying back in 2007. The weirdest thing is when I was giving birth to my son, I thought, they said, "Oh no, she's dying." I said, "Oh no," I was so off in what was going on. I said, "God, please bless whoever they're talking about." I thought they were talking about somebody else, and they were talking about me. They were talking about me. I was the one dying. So, I was so cold, and all I could do was feel myself trembling, and my heart. I could hear my heart beating, and my heart pounding really hard. It was the worst feeling. And I think I cried and cried every day that I was in the hospital because in the maternity ward, everybody had their baby. I could hear that baby crying. But I couldn't see my baby. I didn't see my baby until 7 days later. I guess they were trying to keep me alive too because I had lost so much blood. They had to give me blood transfusion. I'm sorry, give me blood transfusion. We both have blood transfusions. So, but anyway, didn't mean to cry, y'all. It's a very touchy subject. But that's all I wanted to share with you all. I just wanted to share my story of how all this happened and how I almost died and my son almost died. But God has been so good to us and made it possible for me to be able to survive after all of this. And I guess it was the reason all this happened. I don't understand why, but I still to this day don't understand why all this happened. But I'm just thankful that I'm here and I was able to go back to school. Just that's my son. He's my inspiration. That's why I'm going back to school and studying to become a doctor. It wasn't for him, I would love to study cognitive neuropsychology. With the death of my father and his stroke and having him suffer brain neurological issues with the brain, and then my son with CP and cerebral palsy. I'm sorry. Made me want to think more about. Oh, I'm sparing my makeup. Sorry, guys. About want me to learn more about cognitive neuroscience and want me to study more about the brain, and that's why I sort of got into this field. So I can help others. But I'm sorry, I'm smearing my makeup. I need to stop crying. But anyway, that was my story. I just wanted to share that with you all. And I would love to hear from you guys. And if you all experience similar situations, please feel free to leave your comments below. I would love to hear from you guys. And till next time, peace. Bye bye.